Hello, wonderful people. Today I'm here to discuss something which is pretty personal and answering questions that I get asked very frequently, which is how do I support my hormones, considering that I train very frequently, I work as a solopreneur, and I am a busy mom of two wonderful kids. And I am also 43. So without further ado, I really would like to get into the 5 tips that have completely changed my life. And this video is completely unedited. I have not prepared it. So whatever is going to come out is going to come out, and it's meant for some of you to actually listen to it and keep it into your life. So my tip number 1 is definitely nourishment. And I know that you may have heard so many videos about how to nourish your hormones or how to support your hormones when recovering from hypothalamic amenorrhea and fertility. But the reality is that for me, going from a low energy intake to a higher energy intake has changed everything in terms of gut issues, skin imbalances, and specifically energy. I used to go through my life telling my husband that I was tired, that I was called as Claudia, the tired woman. And I hated to be called that way because my idea of being a powerful and strong woman and an empowered woman also was to feel strong, and to have the energy to tackle things, to do things, to get to know other people, to be out and about, to learn new things. And I went through a few years in my life where I was absolutely exhausted to the point that more often than not, I would just spend my free time Googling, am I suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome? And I went to see a few doctors just wondering, is that what I'm going through? Because I have a history of chronic pain. Is that possible that chronic fatigue syndrome is also a label that can actually describe my current situation right now? And even though they were part of my nervous systems, they were completely dysregulated, and I needed more time to process some of emotions that were bubbling to the surface, the reality is that I was not supporting my body optimally. So when I started eating more and eating more regularly, that has changed my life completely. Now I have the energy to go to the gym. I have the energy to grow muscles. I have the energy to look after my kids. When my husband tells me that he's going to go away for a couple of days, I don't feel like crying any longer because I know that I can handle everything on my own. I am more present for my clients. And I know also, it seems that the more that I've started to lean into what my body needs, I've also started to set very firm boundaries in terms of when I can work, when I want to be with my family, and when I need some downtime just for myself. So eating differently has not only changed my physical appearance and my physical response, but has also changed my mindset in a beautiful way. So what does it mean for me eating differently compared to what I did in the past? And by the way, this video is just me sharing my personal stories, and please just take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'm not giving you any information on how you should behave and how you should eat. This is just my story and how I've been supporting my hormones over the past few years, being also very mindful of the fact that I'm entering perimenopause, or I have already been entering perimenopause, and from now on, nutrition is going to be the core foundation in terms of longevity and strength. So normally what I do, I wake up in the morning and it takes me quite a while to make sure that my digestive system is working. So I allow myself 20 minutes where I simply do some meditation, do some breathing, do some journaling, or simply I prep breakfast for my kids, or maybe I go for a very short walk if I have the energy to do so, or if it's a very beautiful day outside. And then I always come back and have my breakfast. And my breakfast is always a combination between protein, fats, and carbs. I used to love my butter on toast, but I came to realize that it wasn't enough. So right now, normally my typical breakfast is some porridge with some protein powder, with some fruit and some nut butter, and some milk. And then obviously it changes from one day to another. I can use some plant-based protein powder. Sometimes it's a whey protein powder. Sometimes it's strawberries. Other days it's blueberries or pears. So some days it's cinnamon, some cinnamon taste. Sometimes it's vanilla taste or chocolate chips. So I always bring bring the variety into my diet, but ultimately that is a breakfast that takes me a few minutes to prepare and works very well for me. After that, I have my morning snack, which is always a combination between carbs and protein. My lunch has changed completely in the past couple of years, because I really make the time to sit down, cook, and complete a proper lunch. Even when I'm working, when I'm seeing clients outside from my own office, I always bring my meals with me. I pack them the night before, and I'm not happy if I don't finish them all, because ultimately sometimes I feel that my hunger cues are lightly skewed depending on how busy my day is and how busy my mind is. But I don't want to miss out on any of the nutritional values that come from all the foods that I pack the night before. So every single day I find myself having breakfast, snack, lunch, a little treat after lunch, snack, and then obviously dinner is a celebratory moment with my family, where we sit down, we go through all the things that we are grateful for, we spend some time together, and there is always a variety of foods that we can eat all together. And last but not least, if I'm in the mood for it, I also allow myself to have a nice treat after dinner, depending at what time I'm gonna go to sleep, depending on how full I am, and depending if I feel that I've had enough food throughout the day. And if I notice that my body actually needs more energy, for example, just before I get my period, or before or after I had a very strong session at the gym. In terms of training, that's also something that I've been welcoming in lately, more than in the past 3 years. I decided to sign up to the gym once again, and I'm absolutely loving it. But I've been very mindful to exercise not more than 3 days a week, and allowing myself plenty of rest in between sessions. Also, whenever I go to the gym, I make sure that I do very minimal sets, and I always have some 19 seconds between sets, just to make sure that my heart rate goes down, just in case that it goes up. I don't do any cardio. I don't think that for my body and my current situation, I actually need to add in any cardio, as I get injured very easily. So working on strengthening my muscles is my key priority at the moment. And that's what I do whenever I show up at the gym. In terms of how long I stay at the gym, I start with a warm-up, I finish with a cool down and some meditation, and normally I just smash my training within half an hour. I'm not training to become a bodybuilder, a weightlifter, a crossfitter, an endurance athlete. I'm just going to the gym because I absolutely love it. I want to grow some muscles. I want to be able to pick up my kids without feeling that my back is sore, or without feeling a pinch in my shoulder or anything like that. I'm envisioning myself aging with strength, which is something that I couldn't do 10 years ago, because I could not envision myself being a strong woman 10 years ago, as I really wasn't. I was coming from a place of depletion, and I was in a place of depletion for approximately 20 years of my life. So I'm still learning what my body really needs to have that extra energy to grow the muscles and to grow the tissues and go through all the repair process. I've also recently managed to reverse osteopenia and osteoporosis, which is something that I'm so stoked and so proud of. And that's also something else that I'm working on, making sure that I grow really strong bone, that I load my bones so that they can actually go through the remodeling process. And then I am going to be able to kiss osteopenia goodbye in less than 12 months. Something else that I feel that I really need, that has been helping me in terms of restoring my hormones and allowing myself to feel the best version of me, is alone time. I'm always with people, I'm always with clients, or I'm always with someone that I love. I'm always with my kids, with my partner. Whenever I go for a walk, I call a friends. I do have a team, so I engage with them as well. I chat with all my clients on Facebook or WhatsApp, as you possibly know if you are one of my clients. So I find that a few hours for a few minutes every single day, I just need some quiet time. Sometimes to have some quiet time, I leave the house in between consultations for just 10 minutes. I just go for a walk. I soak in some fresh air, some vitamin D from from the sunshine. And if I can afford it, meaning that I have enough time, I just simply drive down to the beach and I plant my feet on the ground. I plant my feet on the grass or on the sand, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And if it's a warm and nice day, I also plant my feet in water and I just recharge myself because of the difference between positive ions and negative ions. So I always try to rebalance myself at least once, if not twice, every single day. Obviously, some days are less optimal. If I'm running around with my kids all day, there are very little chances to be on my own, and that's absolutely fine. In that situation, I normally do a 5 minutes meditation at the beginning of the day. I try and go for a walk to grab my coffee on my own, or I simply do some stretching and meditation just before going to sleep when my husband is like brushing his teeth and he's doing his own night routine. So then I can really focus inward and focus on myself. Setting boundaries is something that I've been learning to do only recently, and it's work in progress. And I think that it's going to be work in progress for all of us women, especially in a society that it's always telling us that we should be doing more, that we should pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone in a variety of different ways. Social medias have been absolutely helpful in a variety of ways, but sometimes I feel that they have been overwhelming for my nervous system, and I have made this very clear cut where I don't check social media after 7 o'clock at night. I'm more than happy to jump on a call and to check my Facebook messages at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't mind that because my brain has that capacity when the morning rolls around. But when it's 7 o'clock at night, if I see something that upsets me, I basically soak it in and then I brew over it, stew over it for the whole night. So it's just not helpful, and it's something that I normally don't do any longer. And I find that whenever I forget and whenever I start checking social medias at 7:30 after I put my kids to sleep, then I really feel quite awful within a very short amount of time. And it's just a very strong reminder that it does not work for my system. It does not work for my beautiful brain, and clearly it doesn't work for my body as well, because I go into protective mode and I feel all my muscles tensing up, and I start also doubting myself and all the wonderful work that I've done in my life. So clearly it's something that I need to cut out from my life when the sun comes down. Something else that has been very helpful in terms of supporting my hormones and my bones, my supplements. I don't take that many. People always ask me, so which kind of supplements are you taking at the moment? And I have some non-negotiables. So one is the vitamin D3 with K2. That's a non-negotiable for me because genetically I have a very low level of vitamin D, and it takes a long time for my liver to absorb it. So that's something that I need to take every day, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Magnesium is another supplement that I take because I love it. It helps our body with 300 different enzymatic reactions. And I think that it's very important, especially for women that are working out, are stressed, are sleep deprived, and are always on the go. And then another one that I would like to mention is creatinine, especially for women. It's absolutely fundamental. I normally take somewhere between 3 to 5 milligrams per day. But that obviously the dosage depends on your current situation. And once again, this video is not intended for you to purchase any supplement. Don't buy any of the supplements that I'm taking. Always work with a professional that really knows the ins and outs of your story, of what you need, of what your hormones are going through, and what you are going through. So once again, this is my personal story. This is what I do because I keep receiving messages every single day inquiring about how I protect my skin, how I train, which kind of foods I eat, which kind of supplements I take, and I would like to cover all of this in this video. I also would like to say that sleep is super important to me, and that's something that it's optimal in my life, but that would be a lie. I know the science behind it. I have the knowledge. I absolutely understand the fact that most women need to sleep between 9 to 10 hours every single day, even though we have been told otherwise for decades. But the reality is that my youngest child is not even 4 years old. They both have nightmares. They both want to sleep with mommy and daddy. They both wake me up at least once or twice per night, at least 3 times a week. So it's practically impossible for me to have a continuous good sleep quality. I do sometimes also wake up very early because I see clients from the other side of the world, which I don't mind at all, because when I wake up, I do actually have the energy to be awake, but that means that sometimes I cannot sleep as much as I would like to. I try to catch up with my sleep at least twice a week. Obviously, it doesn't work that way. We don't have a sleep bank, unfortunately, but I'm gonna tell you, it feels like a treat to be able to simply roll in my bed and just look at my husband and look outside, look at the beautiful nature, and just be grateful, because I'm just surrounded by my favorite things, my cushions, my favorite blanket, my heat pack, and all of that. And last but not least, there is also something else that have been a game changer for me. And obviously, there are so many other things that I can talk about in terms of how to support my hormones. So, for example, like walking in nature and having a cold bath once in a while, so have a dip in the ocean, doing some red light therapy, jumping on the PMF bed, getting massages and acupuncture whenever it's needed. Absolutely, I sometimes do these type of things, but I cannot do them daily. So I'm just focusing on the things that I'm actually get to do each and every day that have allowed me to thrive in my current life, despite the craziness of it, because there are a lot of things that you cannot see behind the camera. And there are so many assumptions in terms of how my life could look like and actually is. But the reality is that we all have our problems and we are all going through challenges. And the most important things is about understanding that stressors happens. Stress is how we react to stressors. And that's something that I've been seriously working on over the past few years. But in terms of one last thing that really has been a game changer for me is sitting in a place of gratitude. Only a couple of weeks ago, I had a car accident and I couldn't move my neck and my arms for a few days. It was really, really scary. And instead of getting to a place of, why me? I'm already dealing with chronic pain in general. I have 2 little kids. We don't have any support here in Australia. Why is this happening to me? So instead of going down a rabbit hole of why me-ness, I just focused on gratitude. I'm grateful that I can actually move my legs. I'm grateful that I have a roof where that it's supporting me during this very tough moment. I'm grateful that I have an incredible partner in life that took care of the kids, took care of the meals, took care of the house without me having to ask. I'm so grateful that my family is far away, but at least they're well and they're texting me every single day, wishing me well. I was grateful that I had wonderful friends that were checking in on me. So there are so many things that we can be grateful for as soon as we allow ourselves the opportunity to shift our perspective, because we all have our challenges. We are all going through something in life. So sometimes it's so much easier to actually be nice to the person that is next to you, even though sometimes they're not, instead of just calling them names because they didn't treat you respectfully. Sometimes people are going through a lot. It's just that in this society, we are not allowed to share half of the things that are brewing inside of us. We are not allowed to share our trauma, big trauma, and our micro trauma. So I have decided that generally speaking, I just give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And if someone is quite unpleasant with me, I simply wish them well and send them their way. And when it comes to me and to the people that I love, I always bring love, kindness, and gratitude, because I think that it's, yes, better for the universe, it's better for everyone out there, but more than anything, it's beneficial for me. And for my clients, obviously, because if I am sitting in a state of gratitude, then they are going to be able to absorb that energy. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're in a place where you would like to take care of your hormones, and if you would like to get your period back, support your fertility, and if you have been resonating with what I've been sharing, and if you would like to get some strategies that work with you and not with anyone else, but specifically for your body, just make sure that you click on the link below and that you just book a free call with me. I would love to have the opportunity to meet you and see what you're going through, and then we can take it to the next level. All right. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.